Yeah, so this is our effectively week 9. Of course, there's week 8 is a student week, so we are into week 9. So we have started, like we started the DOM programming in our last class before student week. I hope you had a chance to work on DOM, and I hope you found DOM very interesting, because all the concepts that we have learned till now in JavaScript and everything, we have effectively tried implementing those concepts on our um, like try to embed, integrate those component like concepts with the concept of HTML that we were learning from, that we have learned. So till now we have started few very interesting um, as I said, that separately first we learned JavaScript, then we went on to learn just HTML, and now we are seeing an interaction between both, and which looks quite an interesting one, because it's giving us this feature of playing with HTML components and everything. So I'll share my screen shortly and would like to show you where were we and what we did last week. So I'll be just sharing my screen. By last week, again, I mean the week before this one. So I hope you had a chance to look at the second part as well, because of course the second part was a recorded one, so can you see my screen now with Visual Studio Code with the file fab24.html open? Okay, Andy, thank you very much. Wow. Okay, so I'll first go to the notes. This was week 7 that we had. So it was in notes. So we have talked about some cool things. As I said, we have started DOM in that week. We talked about how to program DOM. We have talked about that. The most important part we started, and that was that run code in response to events triggered by the user browser or the parts of the code. So we'll be mostly talking about this last part today. And we saw, again, it's a review of the last class. We saw that finding and getting references is very interesting in our HTML and DOM document object model. We access the elements by using this get element by ID, number one. We access those elements by using query selector. We access that element by using query selector all. Then someone asked that get element by tag name. I did it self-study. You can just have a look at it. We usually do not use this tag. Rather, what I'll say is that, again, this is something, not only the review, but the new thing as well. The most important one or the most recommended one are these two functions that can be enough for doing DOM programming. But this one is very very widely used still now. But most of the programmers, they've switched to this quick query selector and query selector all. And you would know the reason, again, as you will just start working on, you'll see that query selector is enough for working with everything. Anyhow, we talked about then query selector. That's a method that we can call this method, and if you want to access some ID, we use hash ID, and if you want to access some class, we use dot with the class name, because query selector is a generic function that may look for a selector. Maybe you can pass a tag name as well over here, or you can pass a hash something that would be ID on your HTML page. You can pass something as dot something that would be a class on your code. And we did some examples over there. I'll just show you this again. I'll just work on that one again, but I'll just show you. And then we talked about there is another part, that creating and adding and removing elements from the DOM tree. So interesting, we can create elements. We can create text nodes in our DOM. And after creating elements, we need to add them to DOM. We create them and add them to DOM. This was the theoretical part. And if you see that I have this, this document that we made last class, and I would like to just discuss this a bit, because we are into a new week, we are into a new so you must know what's going on this document. So this JavaScript file, first of all, I have attached this JavaScript file with my HTML by using this line number 14. The script src is equal to fab24.js. So it was fab24. So I've just connected that fab24 over there. Actually, good afternoon. So basically, this fab24 is working, or this is a file that is attached to this one. This is a script file, right? And this document, if I show you, first of all, if I run this FAB24 with live server. So this was the lab, like FAB24 document that we had. And this document is doing some cool things. When I click on this button, it is, doing lots of things. If you see that it's changing this paragraph, maybe, or no, the paragraph is not changing. It's adding up a picture over there. It's adding up 2 links over there. So doing quite interesting thing. And it keeps on doing it. If I keep on clicking it, it just adds 2 links and 1 picture over there. So how it is doing that? That was the question, and we have already talked about that. I'm just, giving you a quick review of that one. Why? Because today we will be working on most of those things that we have discussed over there. So first of all, to get reference to any particular thing on HTML document, what we do is that we try to create variables out of them. That's a very important part. So I am here saying var mybtn is equal to document.querySelector #btn. Now I have to see that do I have any ID of button on my page. So let's go back to the page. And I see that, yes, I have given one button as ID is equal to btn. So to access that ID is equal to btn, what I do is that I would say that, so this part, document.querySelector #btn is accessing that button. And I am taking that button as a reference in btn. So I have got that btn in my reference. Then I see that where my para is equal to document. So there is something called a hash para, like para ID. Yes, para ID is there, which I have given to a paragraph. So I've got reference to both of them. Then I talked about in that notes, I think I talked about really in that, or maybe I did not add to the notes. I don't remember. But anyhow, one of the things is that we can just, events, like, running functions on different events. So I'm just trying to make it different events. So we can run different functions on different events. So if you get reference of something in your JavaScript file, you can always attach some event with them. So one of the events that can be attached with a document is, so I can just, the function used for attaching event is add event listener. So my btn.add event listener, and the syntax is that you first of all give the event. So I've given this click event, that whenever someone clicks on this button, do what? Run this function. Now be mindful that when you are calling a function in an event listener, you never give those parentheses that you usually attach with the functions. You remember? We know functions can be called like this, but when you are calling it in add event listener, remember that we don't use that parenthesis over here while calling that. Now, this my function should be a function defined somewhere, and that is this function. So I'm effectively saying when someone clicks on what? My btn. What is my btn? My btn is this variable. Where it is coming from? It is coming from #btn. What is this #btn? This is something that I have caught from my HTML. Does that make sense to everyone? I'm just, trying to give you a very good sense of everything. Even though it's a review of the last week, but I understand that we might have just, need a quick refresher for all those things. So is that making sense to everyone? That whenever someone clicks on what? My btn. What is my btn? My btn is a button. Where it is coming from? It is coming from my HTML document. And what part? It is coming from this #btn part. Make sense to everyone? Does not make sense to anyone, because I don't get anything in the chat window. Okay, Andy, thank you very much. You are the first one. Tariq, thank you. Yeah, so this is basically what. So I am, what I'm doing. I am attaching an event of btn with my function, and now this, I'm saying that this my function should run. What is this my function that I have defined over here? What it is doing, it is just creating, first of all, an anchor tag. If, again, those who have attended the last week's class, they know. I'll just give a quick review that they'll create element, that anchor element will be created. Its href will be set to https www.google.com, and the inner HTML will be set to this br Google. And then I'm creating another link, again, anchor tag. it will be connected to index.html. I give them inner HTML, inner text or inner HTML as home page. Target is equal to blank to open it in a new window. And my link one dot on click is equal to my function 2, and I can call that that on my link on dot click, we can call it my function 2. There can be my function 2, anything, whatever. Then we have created a picture element, create element, and then set its source to tree.jpg, which will be there in my document, tree.jpg, in my folder. And then I have just given what picture one width, picture one height, alt, and then query selector para.append child. So everyone remembers append child. I can append anything from, and so I am connecting it with the para. So it means it will become a child of this paragraph. Like, why? Because I have accessed this paragraph over here. Sorry. I've accessed this paragraph over here, and this paragraph will be again, this child will become that. And not only that, I want to attach this my para dot append child. So my para is what? I have this paragraph that was there. So dot child, dot append child, my link one, my link. So I have connected both of them. And this my function 2 is basically a function that I have just created over here. So now if I show you, so these are all the and for which I am calling this my function, my link one. And what is this my link one, which has index.html? So if I click on this one, you see, not only it will open the page, it is opening an alert as well. Why? Because I have just defined that alert in my function. If I click on that one, so it has just, it is just allowing, not allowing that one. So you see that practicing DOM, and if I click on this one, home page, it just goes over there and the home page opens up, right? So home page is what? There was an index.html that I have just opened up. Right, so it was a quick review of the last, and then my function. So we create functions, and so today I'll just, I'll just give in this quick review. And now what I'll do is that I'll create another folder, and I will call this folder week 9 because we have 1 week in between. So I'll create a new folder. And by the way, let me just copy these notes from, do I need them? Yes, I can, or I can just leave that. So folder. Not week 8. There is, so be mindful, there is no week 8 because week 8 is a study week. So I'll just directly call it week 9. Let's work on them. Okay. So this is week 9. And now in this week 9, I will just create 2 things, by the way, and I can create an index.html, right? A document where I will be working. I hope you are like, making this thing with me, and we could just, we can work on that one. And what we are doing, we'll be just playing with more and more events. So that's what I will just, tell you. Okay, so let's create an HTML document. And let me call a few things, change a few things. So today I'll be talking about more than DOM events, and we'll be creating some files, interesting files, DOM events, and inside body. I will just say, for example, H1 DOM events, right? And then let's create a P, for example. And this paragraph, I can say that let's play with DOM events and see what each one does. Something like this. Right, so I have just created index.html, and I would like you to create this index.html as well. Which has nothing, which has just, let's play with DOM, let's have this one. And we have got just, some few things over here. And we'll just play with this DOM and all those kind of things. Right. Okay. So now what we want to do, we want to just, work on different kind of things, and we'll just, try to play with those kind of things. And we will just, we'll see that what we can do. So let's connect it with a script, for example. And since it is our first script, so I'll call it script.js. Let's create a script.js. Right. And again, we have to connect that to one. Now, today I'll tell you that what is the difference between putting it at the bottom and putting it at the top. But let's right now put it at the bottom, as we have done before. Script.js. So I've just inserted that script. And to check, you remember, I always check all these things. So if you want to check it, you check script working. So if your script will be working, this alert will appear. You remember, alert is the window.alert, and this alert will show me, okay, so my script is working with that one. So it means my script is very much attached. I told you last class that you can just, if you can miss out, of course, that would not be able to do that. Right. So I will be just, working on that one. So I have a script attached to that one. So now I can play with this one. I can do lots of things, and we can just, we'll be checking few interesting things. So now, if you talk about events, so events are typically, if you remember, in last week we discussed, like when we were having that other document, that events, they happen on some of the happenings. Like for example, when I click on something, when I the document is loaded or something like that. So there are lots of things. So let's talk about one of the event that happens with window. Now, what is this window? Window has an event window on load, and I want to run a function with this one. I'll show you what I want to just, And now here what I'm doing is I'm just consoling something. Now I'll show you, I'm console logging. So window loaded. Now, interestingly, this window.onload function, this does what? It really checks that if the window has been loaded, everything has been loaded. So now I'll show the inspector, and I'll show you what's going on over here. I'll show you the console. And if you see here, it says window loaded. So whenever I just run this one, when window gets loaded, it just shows that one. Let me just show you. I refresh this. When I refresh this, you see after some point of time, it says Windows loaded, and from where it is coming? It is coming from my script.js. It says window has been loaded. Does that make sense to everyone? So this window.onload is a function that checks whether the window has been. Yes, you're right. So that is called Week9. And not only that, Vinny, you would say that you would see that that has also as a component as introduction to CSS, which we are not doing right now. So what I'll do is that I'm just keeping it Week9, no worries. Like addendum has a problem. Looks like we just forgot to add or consider that Week8, right? But anyhow, it should not be a confusion. Again, since you are recording, you can just see that. So we are calling it Week9, and of course, you can call it Week8 or something like that. Anyhow, I'll just look at that why it's there. Right. So as I said, this window.onload event is basically something which runs when all thing or everything has been loaded. When everything gets loaded, this window.onload function runs. Is that right? Now, so let's go back over there, and let's try to create some more fun or some more things over here. Let's try to bring up some picture over here from outside world. So I might say, for example, H2, and I want to bring, we love cats. So I want to bring a cat picture over here, right? So I want to bring a cat picture over here. And so if I want to bring a cat picture, what I'll do is that I'll say to image src. Now you remember, I have given you that unsplash.com. And this Unsplash give us a very nice feature. We can just directly put some pictures over there. So if I just find out some cats and we'll look at some cool cat, and that we can just bring that cat over here. So for example, let's take this one. Like copy the link address, right? Or copy image address. So copy image address and come over here, and you can just place that image address over here, and you see that this picture should appear on our page. So this picture is appeared over here, but it looks a bit bigger one. So I can just set up its width and height, or just width, and it should relatively set its height as well. Maybe less than that. 250. I think this looks good, or rather 250. Will be more good, right? Because I want to. So yes, we're having good, nice, you know. So right, so this is basically what we have. We have got a picture, or like it's a cat picture that is there. And so when we say that window.onload, we can just talk about. So this is a cat, and what I want to do, see here. So what I want to do, I want to just give an ID to this as well, and I can call it an ID as cat. Now this is very important because giving an ID. Now you understand that giving an ID to something in our HTML document is always very important. And why is that? Because we want to access that particularly later on, right? So if I want to access this cat picture in my script file, see here, how can I access that? So I'll say, for example, var cat equal to, or you can just say my cat over here, just to make it different. Document dot query selector. Now remember, when you have to access an ID, you need to do what? A hash cat. So do I have a cat ID on my page, on my HTML page? Yes, I have an ID of cat on my HTML page. You know what I mean? So that's over there. Now this my cat, as I have associated this event window.onload, like onload with window, we can associate it this same event with any element of the HTML document. What does that mean? I can say my cat dot onload. When my cat gets loaded, run this function. I'm saying that when my cats get loaded, you want to run this function, and again just console something, and I'll just convert that consoling into that one. Cat loaded, like cat picture loaded. I should say cat picture loaded. Cat picture loaded. Right. So now let's see our inspector over here for a second. We'll go to console. So if I just refresh that one, so you see that it says cat picture loaded, and as well as it says Windows loaded. And we understand that why? Because this function is running cat picture loaded. And if you see, if you just focus something, that cat picture loaded is running first. It says cat picture loaded and then window loaded. If I just refresh that one, you would experience that. Let me clear that. And if you see here, that cat picture loaded is running first. Right? Now I want to tell you something very interesting. My code right now is at the, like my script is attached at the bottom inside the body of the document. Oh, it has to go inside the body, by the way. I've done this mistake. It should be inside the body. So my code right now is attached inside the body of the document. And when I run it, I'm seeing that it first says cat picture loaded because the document is under loading. So first cat picture gets loaded, and then it says that window loaded because the window is completely loaded. Then it says that window is loaded. Got everyone? Now I would like to show you something. If I cut this from here and I take it to head. So be ready, everyone. I'll be asking some questions here. So if I save this, now if I save that and if I refresh this document, do you see that there is some problem? Can anyone, so first of all, let's read out the error. It says Uncaught type error, cannot set properties of null. Setting on load of null. It says null. Okay, just go to the document and see what it says, that what is that null it's showing. It's saying that this cat or whatever is, for example, if I show you the script.js in that one, it's not opening. Okay, just show it. So it says that this cat which we are applying on load, it's typically setting, it's saying that I cannot do that on. And if you see line number 7, it says that I cannot implement this mycat.onload physical function. Can anyone tell me why it is happening? The error is coming and I could not see the cat picture loaded now. You see, if I refresh that, I'm getting an error, cannot set null. And if you see that it's giving line number 7, and if I go to line number 7, I see that my cat.onload function is not running. There is some error. Can anyone tell me why this error is happening? Anyone, any idea? Slight idea.
Because the browser doesn't know what is my cat at that point of time.
Why? Can you explain that? That's wonderful. That's a wonderful answer. Why browser does not know? This is a very right answer.
Because it's at line number 8, it went to the script.js and it found out that my whatever was that my cat was there and it doesn't know what is it. So that's why.
Okay. Anyone else? This is that's wonderful. Who was that? What's your name? I'm sorry.
Parth?
Okay, Parth. Parth, thank you very much, Parth. That's a very nice explanation. I want someone else to explain as well. Andy says out of scope. Andy, that's wonderful. But Andy, can you explain why out of scope? As Parth has tried to explain, he was right, one way or other. But can you explain that, Andy? Maybe in the writing, or maybe if you can just unmute yourself for a second. Why it is out of scope?
Is it because it is outside of body area?
No, it's not outside of body. It's inside head, by the way. Now listen, that's very interesting. It's wonderful. Now listen, everyone, and I hope you will appreciate this concept, because this is a concept that I teach in the very first class, and I have taught you, and I tell you that interesting part here. The head part is always executed first in the browser. Try to understand that, and it's a real important thing. When you will be doing DOM programming, when you will be doing web programming, you will come across this situation lots of time. Listen about that. Head is always executed first. I have embedded my head over there. So when it runs or executes this head, it finds this script.js. This script.js typically one way or other tries to run even before the body is loaded. Exactly. Yeah. Tariq, that's wonderful. In other words, Tariq's explanation is also very nice. You are defining the cat ID at line number 19 and trying to access that at line number 8. But again, Tariq, just remember that it's not only the 9 numbers that is making a bad cells. It's basically head which is executing first. So again, in that way, what we are saying, that it is trying to access something which has not been loaded. Does that make sense, Tariq? You are right. You are right that way. That is out of scope. And why it's out of scope? Andy says out of scope. Why? Because we are trying to access cat something, ID cat, which is not even produced, which is not even there in our document. Does that make sense to everyone? Because this is a very important concept. I want you to understand that. So this script, when it runs, because head executes first, the script runs, and the script says that, of course, the script is looking for something. The script is looking for this onload of this mycat, which is not there. Mycat is not created. This ID is created, as Tariq has said. Yeah, ID is created in line number 19, and you are trying to access it line number 8. Line number 8 means it's inside head. Now, if you see here, if I cut this script from here, and again, inside body, but it is basically inside the body. Now you see here, if I refresh that, you see that now it really works. It looks like it works, but I'll tell you what is the real thing that we need to do. Even though it looks like it's working, it's inside the body now. And what happens? The head executes, but nothing, there is no script to run. So it does not know what the script. When the body gets loaded, so this script is coming after the body. So when everything gets loaded, it first goes in the script and finds out that, okay, I have to call first my cat onload and then my console. This one onload is. Should I understand? Everyone is getting that. And this is, yes, Tariq, you said this makes sense. So I hope you're understanding that this really matters, that where script is being placed. Script, if it is in the head, it can create problems, usually at times. But let's talk about another very interesting solution.
So the professor, so at line number 5, what if we put it inside window.onload? Because window.onload always executed at the end, right?
Exactly. That's a wonderful answer. And that was I was about to do. I will cut this one. One of the solutions is that I'll take all my code into windows.onload. And what happens is, you see what will happen. If I take my script, as you are saying, I think it's part again. So if I take it to head, and I have changed the code, and I have just placed the code inside onload. Now what is happening over here? You see that window loaded, but why not get loaded? Just refresh this. Window loaded. Okay. What's not calling that onload of the cat? It should call that by you. Okay, I'll see that. First of all, see, it should really does not make any difference. First of all, it has removed that error that was coming. Let's take the positive out of it. Even though my script is basically residing in the head, but it's not giving that particular error, that it is not showing that particular error of that I do not find that cat picture because cat picture is found. Now, another very important and interesting thing is that we usually do what? Rather than using this window.onload, we use another function. If you remember that we have talked about that one. And what is that? What it is? Window.add event listener. And I'll show you that why it is not working and why it would work over here. Event listener, if you remember the syntax. So for example, I think it's load event, right? I want to attach a function to the load event. If you see here, now I have attached a function to the load event, and now I would need a parenthesis over here as well. Okay, right. But still it does not show. Let's try to do something wrong. It should show.
I think we need to put that mycat.onload outside of that window.add event listener.
Not really. I think when it should work. Let me just see that why it's not working. It should by the way. Let's do this for, as you're saying. I can do that for a second if I take it out. So you see that it's my cat goes out of the scope. You know what I mean, but whatever you are, sorry.
Yeah.
So it goes out of scope of that one. So just let me see why it's not console loaded. It should work fine. It's catching the cat, and on the onload of catch, it should call this function. Let me just see. Okay, let me just see that. Even though that should not be a problem, because by adding add event listener and by putting that inside, it should not be a problem. And you say it's not a problem. Still, it says window.loaded. Okay, just let's run the thing. Console.log. Let's test this one. Window loaded and testing both are running, but the third one is not running. Interesting. Okay. I don't know if I'm making this. Just remembered. Sorry. It's DOM content loaded. I was using the wrong link. Wrong. First of all, let's now see that. Window loaded testing, and still it's not working. No problem. DOM content loaded. Let me just find out what's the error. So this here it shows something. DOM content loaded to there. So it's basically the event that I'm talking about, Brian, is DOM content loaded. When all the contents of DOM are loaded, then you run this function. Brian, you got it? So DOM content loaded is not like load is not the function over here. It has to be DOM content loaded, that the contents of DOM are loaded, and there is no problem in that one as well. Otherwise, it would have just generated the error. Brian, you understand what I'm saying? But let me see what's going on. There is something especially wrong that's going on, because it should not be doing something like this. Window.add event list. Let me just remove this window, even though it should work with window, or it should not never work, because window is a global object and we can just leave that out. What I'm confused is maybe let's call it hello function. I'll call this function as hello. Let's check that. I'm just calling that as a separate function, by the way, just to check that whether what it's doing. Still not working. I can't. I see. Okay. I'll just go to the start first of all. So add event listener. First of all, let's check that. DOM content loaded, and I want to run a function over here. And what function I want to say console.log, and I say window or contents loaded, whatever, contents loaded. I want to run that one. Okay, just clear that for a second. So it says content loaded, good. Now I'll just do the same thing again. Var mycat equal to document dot. I had to just cut and paste that. Anyhow, query selector and hash cat we have. That was cat, if I remember correctly, and it will just show me. So I'm attaching this mycat dot onload. Okay, I'm just doing something intentionally, and I'll just change that function, run an anonymous function, and just do console.log and say cat is loaded. Right, so cat.download. So cat is loaded. It's very much giving this one to us. And when I'm just taking this one inside again, let's check that one with the hope that it will work this time. But it's still not working. Okay, wonderful. Because if it's not working, we cannot do anything, because we usually place all our add event listener code inside this this one. Has it something to do with variable declaration? Not at all. Can anyone else find this problem? I'll have to just look content loaded, but no cat is. Looks like I am just doing something wrong somewhere. Just find out. And all right, so the script for some weird reason is not working over here. What we have done, again, it's for recording purposes, because we stopped recording. So what we have done is that we have taken that script and copied that one into a script tag inside head. It can be inside head or inside, inside body anywhere, inside body anywhere. But I've just placed that one. So we have this script file attached here, but right now this script file is not doing anything at all. It says content loaded. It's again gone. Okay. So if I just disassociate this file for a second, it still says content loaded. That's weird. That's really weird. And how about if I took to the bottom? There's some magic going on with this one. You saw that it was running just a second before, and now it has something wrong with our recordings. Anyhow, let's just quickly stop that for a second. What it does now. So now we have got this file which is loading, and of course what we have done, we have just taken our script out of our file, and even I have just not disassociated this script with this one. There's no script attached. So I have this all script running in my body, and what it does is, if you see here, that it shows that content loaded, and then it shows the cat is loaded. So now if you see that this function DOM content loaded, this event DOM content loaded, this typically is doing what? When our all DOM is loaded, all DOM is over there, then it runs and it starts showing the content. So when it is loaded, everything is loaded in the memory, and after that, when everything is loaded in the memory, it will just start running in that one. So again, I will just one last time, because I just don't want to spoil more time, but I'll just place that in the head section and see not working over there. So I'll have to just seriously check later on after the class why it's doing that, and I'll just publish a correction maybe sometimes. So now it's working at that one, even though it should work anywhere at all. Anyhow, so this is what that cat is loaded is. Basically, this is a function, this is an event that has been triggering, and it is triggering on the basis of what? That when we say that when that cat gets loaded, you have to just run that. Now let me tell you another very interesting thing. Not only .onload, there is another one that is called we can just associate it on error as well. So there is another one with which we can associate a function on error. And here I can just say console.log that cat image has an error. So something like that. So if a cat image has an error, this would definitely run in with that error. So now it is saying cat is loaded. Now if I come over here and I misspelled this splash for a second, intentionally, I have done something wrong with that code. So if you see that it's still showing cat is loaded, which is not there. So now it says that just forget about this course like core blocking. If you see a cat has an error, so it says that this is an error. And why error? Because I have just removed the spelling, or I've just misspelled the misspelled. So it says that cat has an error and the cat picture is not appearing. But if I make it back again to the backsplash.com and splash.com, you see that now it will say that content loaded, and hopefully it will say that cat is loaded. You see here that cat is loaded was also coming over here, and it is basically showing us that. So now this is an on error as well that we can do, and on error also works with this way, that it will just work with, like try to bring error. If there is some error, it will just show that typical error. So now, as I said, I will be just checking, testing why it's not working in an outside file, but then I'll just come up with a solution. But right now we are just doing that scripting over here. And by the way, this is another good chance to just understand that a script can go anywhere in the document. It can go outside of it, it can go inside of that one, and that's that. It is basically running, and it's basically just showing us what we want to do. Now one very, very interesting thing that we have talked about, and now I'll just talk about some more interesting facts of that. You remember that we can even access the document body as well. So in that add event listener, if I just come over here and I get reference to the body, for example, body equal to document dot body. For example, if I just get the reference of spelling is wrong. So if I just get the reference of the body, so I can say that document dot body. Now, if I say body dot on click, I'm implementing a function on body dot on click. So I want to tell you a very important concept over here. So if I say console.log and I say body clicked. So when we click on the body, it should console that body click. So first of all, refresh this, cat is loaded is coming. So if I go to my document, I'll show you, and I click on somewhere, you see that body click event is triggered. Everyone understand that body click event, because I will click anywhere on the body and it shows that body is clicked because I have clicked on the body. It's 22 times if you see. So if I refresh that and if I now start clicking on that, it is showing me that body is clicked. Now, let me tell you something very interesting. If I click on the body, it says body clicked. If I want to implement the same click event on the cat as well. So let's not on the on load, rather let's talk about this on click event. So if I don't want this on load for a second, I'll just make it a comment and I say my cat dot on click. So I want to run a function on my cat dot on click as well. And again, right now, just consoling that console.log, and I will say cat clicked. Now I want to tell you something very interesting. So if I just refresh this one, and if I show you, if I click over here, it says body clicked. I have just taken out, and I don't want, for example, just hold on a minute. It gets content loaded and then body loaded. So I don't want this console.loaded. I'm not sure that it is always loaded. So you see that when I click on the body of the document, I get body clicked. But when I click on the cat, if you see here, I click on the cat and I get cat clicked and body clicked. So what is going on? It's basically that whenever event is generated, events get triggered or it gets propagated in its parent as well. So if you see here that when I'm clicking on the cat, since cat is the part of my body, so when I click on the cat, it just does not only run this my cat on click, but rather it runs this body clicked as well. Do you know why? Because it propagates an event from the child to the parent. This cat is right now the child or inside element or the child element of our of our body. So when I click on this picture, it says, okay, it runs that function with that click, for example, for the cat click, and then it says that it has a parent, and that parent, it just runs that one as well. Do you see that body click? And when I click on the body, it just says body click. But when I click on the picture, it gives us both of them. Now, there is a method that we can use to stop this propagation. Now, for that, you need to understand a very important concept. Whenever we click on any of the thing, an event is triggered. We know that an event is triggered and on click is running. Now, remember that whenever we implement anything on click, we pass an event to that one. E. And I'll talk about this E shortly. But let's first of all see that. So whenever a function, whenever we click on something, an event is triggered. So for example, if I come over here, I'll say, okay, and you can write this E or event or EVT, whatever you want. I've just written down this EVT. So, sorry. So what it says that whenever I click on this one, an event is generated, and that event is passed to that function. You know what I mean? Now, let's see what event is generated. If I console.log EVT, I want to see what it basically generates. Now, let's see here. When I click on this cat, do you see that it says cat clicked, and then it shows something very important. It shows that what are these, like when I have clicked that, how many things are over there, which I can see over there. You know what I mean? Yes. So it always passes on this event, and this event can be used fine for you. You cannot count how many useful things we can do with that. And I'll be doing lots of wonderful things today. So, but you see, whenever an event is passed, so for example, if I come over here and I want to show you that what was the event passed over here, when I click on the body, so it will just show the body event as well. So body, and this says pointer event. So this pointer event is very interesting, and I'll talk about lots of things, and you will really enjoy that. So, but anyhow, what it does is that it generates that event, and that event has lots of information that we can use for ourselves. So this event is basically propagated in its parent. You remember, it is propagating that to parent. Not only it says cat click, but it says body click, and it shows both the pointer events as well. So for the time being, if I just stop these one and I show you the old thing, that whenever I am clicking on cat, it says cat click, body click. When I click on body, it says body click. Fine, you understanding what is going on? So if you want to stop that propagation, there is a function for that one. We say event EVT dot stop propagation. And by the way, this automatically does not come. Stop propagation. Now see what will happen. And I would give a break after that, because yes, we are recording. I thought we have stopped recording. Now, if I click on this cat, Karin, do you understand what's going on now? When I'm clicking on cat, only cat click is coming. No body click. If I click on body click is coming. Cat clicked, body clicked. How many of you understand? This is called and what it does is basically it gives us it stops the event from propagating onto the parent. It will just stop, or it will just do for that particular thing. But is it cool then? Okay, let me tell you another very interesting thing. Out of this event, let me just show you a very interesting thing. If I show you, so think about this, and please keep this in mind. This is very important. Event has so many attributes. There are so many things that are coming with the event. You remember? So I'll show you some of the things that I want you to focus on. The first thing that I want to focus on over here, we'll be doing lots of things. Target. This is very, very, very important. Target. So you see that target, it says that what you have clicked. So if you click on something and you catch that event, and if you go to event.target, you see target, you can tell that what have been clicked on the picture on your document. You know what I mean? See here. If I write event.target, I hope everyone will understand that. And if I go to my document and I click on this cat, see here, cat clicked and it's saying undefined. Oh, why undefined? You see, wrong spelling. Target. So now let's see here. If I refresh that and I click on this one, you see it is showing me that what I have clicked. Fine, and but do you think that how cool this is? That we know that what user has clicked on that one. And I'll talk about some more cool features of that one. But you understand that when I'm clicking on this one, e.target is telling me where I have clicked. Now let's talk about that body. So body is just saying body.clicked. Now, if I want to know that what I have clicked on the body, you see, I hope you will enjoy that. E.target. If I say E.target, now see very interesting thing. You see here, if I click on this H1, right? I'm clicking on this H1. Is that cool? Paragraph. I've clicked on paragraph. I've clicked on H2. I've clicked on this cat. Cat click is automatically coming and stopping propagation. So wherever I click, it tells me that where I am clicking on that. It says I am clicking on the DOM. Now, imagine how many magical things we can do with this. I can catch the target and I can say, okay, you have clicked that H1 because I can get this. That's dot target. So dot target will tell me what user has specifically clicked on. I need some quick feedback from everyone. You understand what does that mean? Because it was body, so I had a playground. But since it was a picture, so it was just showing that image SRC. But now I have a playground where I can play, and I can say this is H2. You see H2 cat. It says that cat clicked, and of course cat, and even it's showing body click cat. I have clicked on cat, and then cat clicked. Cat clicked is basically showing over here. Cat clicked is coming over there. Okay, I hope you are enjoying the lecture today. I'm just getting response from 3 people right now. Parin, Parth, and Vinay. I don't know if rest are sleeping with me or they are not here. Okay, Indapal, thank you very much. Okay, so I'll take a quick break of 5 to 6 minutes, and then I'll be back with you. Hopefully everyone will be here. So I'll just pause the recording as well and see you on the other side of the break. All right, so this is something that we have talked about till now. And towards the end, I gave you a very interesting information regarding the event. And you saw that event.target is something really cool that gives us this facility that we can just find out that body was clicked. So this function runs and it shows me e.target. What was the target of that one? Now, considering that, I would like to just play with that more, because this is something quite interesting. I would like you to just go to again. So we are already in our HTML document. I would like you to just go to this HTML document, and behind this maybe give a heading mouse position. Can I catch mouse position from by using this DOM? Can I catch mouse position? That's a very interesting a little thing that I want to just implement over here. Mouse position or mouse info, whatever you just call it. Right. So I want to capture. It's not on focus over here, but let's see Parth, what I will do to just get that mouse position. So in this one, I would like to say mouse X is, for example, I'm just giving something. Mouse X is 100, and rather I should say mouse X position is, so for example, 100, and mouse, just rather than just writing so much things, I can just see. I can just say that mouse info, for example, information, just to make it simple. And I can say mouse position. And what I do is that I can just give something in brackets, for example, 100 and 200, like that. So what I want to say, I'm just trying to display the mouse information over here, And right now, I'm just displaying this mouse information, like, at a very simple thing, which is just coming over here. But this is the beauty of the DOM, that we can just, play with this DOM, and we want to just, we want to work on those elements. So first of all, I want to have, you see that I want to just, the mouse position. Whenever I click on somewhere, I want that this mouse position should appear over there. When I click over here, the mouse position should come over there. So something like that. I want to just, work on that one. That whenever my mouse, I just, move somewhere my mouse, so its position should be changed. And all the time when I create, when I just move my mouse and I just take my mouse somewhere over there, so it should be changing those positions. Now, so first of all, first things, you see that this is 100 and 200, which is quite obviously, which is virtual, which is not the real thing that we want to do. So the first thing that I want to just, do over here is that I want to check that how I can just make this 100 and this 200 as editable or as searchable in my script. So remember, I need something over here which can make this area recognized for me and this area recognized for me. Now, one of the tags, if you remember, we have talked about one of the tags that can make an inline implementation over there, and that is span tag. Do you remember that? I can place this 100 into span, for example, and I can place this 200 onto span as well. So I will place span 100 and span 200. Now, it won't make any difference to my output, just a space has been added. Otherwise, span 100 and now how I can recognize them, that I can give them an ID. So I can say, for example, I can say mouse X. This is mouse X position, and I can give this as ID is equal to mouse Y position. You know what I mean? I have just made this 100 and 200 recognizable in my DOM area, in my script area, DOM area, whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Now let's talk about one of the event. So this is just remember that I have an ID mouse X, which is showing 100 right now, and I have an ID mouse Y, which is right now showing 200, and we have to work on them. So now come to this one. Here, I would like to just implement an event listener or event on my body. And what is that? It is called on mouse move. Whenever mouse moves, you have to do something. You have to run this function. You know what I mean? Whenever mouse moves on the body, you have to do something. Now, what I want to do, just think about it. I want to access this X position and implement some value over there of the mouse position. Wherever the mouse is moving, it should just go over there and it should access that one. Now, let's first of all talk about how I will access that one. So you remember that this will be always whenever that event occurs, there is an event which you can recognize with E or something or whatever. You can name it with your name as well. That's not a problem. So now let's see. First of all, let me console something. Console.log. So if I console E, first of all, I'll see that mouse move, how mouse move works. So it has body clicked. Okay, just hold on a minute. Oh, okay, just hold on. First of all, let me just show you it in that body event. So we have this function that runs whenever I click over there. So that says body clicked, and where it has been clicked, it just shows that one. So it has E. So now I want to show you something over here. If I show you that console.log E dot, so this event, you remember, had multiple things. If I show you again, when I click somewhere, you see that this event comes. Now, one of the things that I am interested in right now is client X and client Y. You know what I mean? Client X and client Y. So if I say, for example, if I say E dot client X, Just think about it, and I hope you'll understand that one. If I click somewhere, you see that it shows the number 629. If I click on somewhere else, it shows a number. Can anyone tell me what does it show? What it is showing right now? It is showing my clicking X position. Do you understand what I'm saying? Wherever I'm clicking, it is showing me the X position. You see that when I click on the very end of the page, it 874. If I click on the very start of the page, it is showing 15. Are you getting that one? Let me just, for the time being, remove this target. I don't want this target. Comment this out. So whenever I'm clicking somewhere, it says, okay, 655 is X. Okay. The same way it can give me the Y as well. Find Y. Right? Now let's run this one and I'll show you. It says that X is 580 and Y is 119. Is everyone with me? So it means that I can access this X and Y position of mouse. So how cool it is? You see that I can, whenever I'm clicking, it is just telling me that where I have clicked on the mouse. Right now it is on cat. Just remove that cat and I just want to show you. You see here, it is telling me the X and Y. Now, if you understand this one, I'll park that for a second and I'll tell you something very interesting. Can I access this X and Y, mouse X position, which is 100 right now, and Y position, which is 200 right now? Can I access them? Yes, I can access them. And how can I access them? You remember var mouse X equal to document dot query selector. Did I give some ID to that one? Yes, I've given an ID. And what is that ID? Mouse X. I'm doing something wrong. You remember? If in query selector you are accessing that, you need to give a hash. So mouse X is basically mouse X. That's wonderful. Now var mouse Y equal to document dot query selector, and I can say hash mouse Y. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right now, I have just done that. And I have accessed that. And right now, I've just removed this one, so it's not showing that one. But I want to show you something very interesting. If I come over here and I say mouse X dot inner text. First, for example, inner text is equal to hello, right? And mouse Y dot inner text equal to bye, something like that. Just to make it some interesting. You see here, whenever I click somewhere, first, do you see where hello and bye has been appearing? Because I have changed this 100 to the hello and bye to. And by the way, just to make it a bit more interesting, I can just give it a number. For example, I say 400 and I can say 800, something like that. I don't know, something like that. So if I click on this one, you see that numbers are changing. Now, I'm about to do something. Let's see how many of you understand that. I need a thumbs up or a yes in chat window if you see that. If you say, okay, I understand what's going on. Find Y. If I do that, you understand what's going on? Is that cool? You see that whenever I'm just moving that one, I'm clicking somewhere, it gives me the mouse position. I click on that and mouse position. Top says makes sense, but that's wonderful. So that's mouse position has been captured over here. Whenever I will click, it will show me the mouse position. Not only it's just not only showing in the cat. And why this is not showing in the cat? Because cat is stopping propagation. If I just do not stop the propagation of cat and I do not print the event of the target of the cat as well, let's see now. Now it will show me every point position. So you see body clicked. Why it's not showing E? Okay, it's showing over there. So if I click over here, you see that mouse position X and Y position are still showing. And by the way, if you want to make them a bit strong, you know that you can always do that over there in HTML. In HTML, I can just say strong, just to have them visible quite clearly. You see that now they are basically strong. And if you see here that we have got what? We have got mouse position coming over there. Andy, did you enjoy that? So now we have got so many things. So you can make a game where you are just clicking on something and you can catch the mouse position, and you can tell me that which quarter the user has clicked with X position, with Y position, with all those positions, you see that X and Y positions are appearing over there. Right. So now that we have done that, let me just show you if that is working. So now I can just do that one. So but this is attached to what clicking. This is attached to clicking. Now I was trying that one on that. Let me just try that one out. If it is not working, I'll just check with this. So there is another event, and that is called on mouse over, on mouse move. On mouse move. I want to run this function on mouse move. Rather than running that on a clicking, I can just run that on mouse move. So whenever I move a mouse, and it should just do that. So I cut and paste this thing from there. I don't want this to run over there. Rather, I want to run this on mouse move. Let's see if it, yes, you see here, just refresh that. No, it's not changing from mouse move. Why it's not changing? Just check with the document.mouse move. A is not defined. Oh, sorry. First of all, why it was not working? Because I was not using this E, like event. You remember E should be passed over there. Now let's see if, yeah, so, but still it's working on the click. I'll just, we have to just, check body.on mouse move, it should work. And so there are these functions, and I'll show you. I'll just check that on mouse move. JavaScript. Why it's not working? Maybe I need to just make some changes. On mouse is equal to my function. Okay. So object.on mouse move. So I'm saying that on body on mouse move. So let me just do that with my cat. Maybe I'll take it at the bottom, and on cat mouse move. Let's see if it works with the cat. But again, remember that it has to come after the cat being defined. So let me just show that. Let me just see that. No, it's not working for that. Even mouse move is not working. And again, I'll have to just check. I can just check that. So mouse move and mouse script. It add event listener. It says that you can add. So it can be on mouse move or add event listener. Let me just try that one as well. mycat.add event listener, and let's say mouse move. So again, there are certain functions that sometimes they behave a bit awkwardly, and now I need to do something else. Yes, I need to just close this one. You remember that we can, if you want to do that. So I have done that on cat now, but still it's not working. It's just working on the click. Oh, is it correct? No, it's not correct. Now, if you see that it's not working, rather it just only works on the click. Again, this mouse move is not. But anyhow, if this mouse move is working, whenever we'll be just moving our mouse, and this position will be changing. So you can just do that on any typical thing. This is on click, for example. So on click, it is already working. And if I click on that one, it will tell me the mouse position, but not outside, because I just implemented that on my cat. So you can implement that on my cat, or you can implement that on body, because I want it to be running on the body. So you see that whenever we are clicking on the body, so it is just running that one, and it's showing me the mouse position. So I hope you have you got that one right. So it is basically the first, the most important thing is this E event, which is just running over there, and this event is basically working fine for us. Now let's try to do another important thing. Let's go to our this page, and after this cat image which is coming, I'll bring a button. I want to bring a button over here and load cats. So now I'm about to show you something very, very interesting, because I will just use a list of the cats, and we can just load them. So let's give me an ID, and I can give an ID of BTN. So it says load cats, and let's put a break. So now we have got this document, right? So I want to, load maybe more and more different cats when I click on that one. Now, for that, I will tell you another very interesting way, which we are starting today, and we'll be doing this kind of things lots of time. I have got so many URLs that I have downloaded and not downloaded. I've used same from this, this unsplash.com. I have taken so many of them. Now see here, I'll just create, I have script file already over there. I will just copy and paste this one and I'll share it with you as well. It's an array of different URLs that are there. You see, they are different URLs, and I can show you each one of them display different picture. So if I copy this one and I show you over here, you'll see one of the cat will appear. So this is one of the cat. So there are cat. So what I've done is that I have pasted this complete array into my script.js. And I will be using this as the data. And you remember, it was not, the code was not working, but hopefully this will work. And I will go over there and I will attach this script also. You can have any numbers of scripts, by the way, right? So I've just attached this script back to my document. Now, what it is doing, this document has multiple URLs that I can play with, that I can work on. You know what I mean? And what I want to do, that whenever user clicks on this load cats, rather than load cats, I can say, for example, you can just say anything with this button. So change cat, right? Change cat, something like that. So I want to, whenever I click on this one, this picture should change and this should be dynamically changed. You know what I mean? So now I have a button that when I click on this one, I want this picture to change, not only to change over there, but rather what I want is that I want to pick one picture or one URL from here and then implement that URL over there. I'll show you what do I mean. So if I go into my document again, and maybe after this, I say var mybtn equal to document dot query selector hash btn. So I've accessed this hash btn over there, right? And now I associate an event with this one. Mybtn dot add event listener. Click. I want to run a function, and I'm just defining this function over here, right? Over here, just not going into that one. Now see what I want. I want that whenever someone clicks on this button, the picture, the source of this picture should be changed. Right now it is showing this picture, then it should show some picture from this one. But for the timing, what I'm doing, I'm just copying one of the picture URL over here, Control C, and I'm saying that whenever user clicks on this one, what is the reference to my this picture? This reference is my cat. You know, I have this reference of that one. So if I come over here and I say my cat dot src equal to inverted commas, and I give that which I have copied. So right now I'm just doing this manually, right? I'm not talking about that script file right now. But if I want to tell you that what I'm trying to do. If I click on this one, the picture should change. You know what I mean? Let's see again. When I click on this one, the picture should be changed. Part says understand. You understand? Like Andy, you got it? I am clicking on that one and it's changing the SRC of that picture. And this looks quite cool because now what it is doing, it is just changing. It keeps on, like it, whenever I click on this one, this picture changes, the mouse position changes, and lots of things changes. But this picture gets changed. Why? Because I have just implemented this picture over there. Right. So now I want to run in this function. I want to just access all these files or all these pictures that have been given over here, and I want to play with that one, and I want to just work on that one, and I would take those pictures one by one and try to run or try to bring a function, and I will just do that. Right. So in this code, let's come over here and write a var current cat index equal to 0. I just created a variable current cat index is equal to 0. Right? And I want to say that whenever user clicks on this button, the picture should it should automatically come from my file and that run over there. Now to do that, what I'm doing, I am calling a function over here, next cat image URL. Right? I will create a function, next cat image URL. And that next cat image URL should do what? It should typically do what? It should go over there and bring up a new picture, new source file, new source, and it should return a source file, a source, URL from this one. Now, how it would do that? Let's create this function over here. Function next cat image URL. Right? Now, let's see what it will do. It will first of all, next cat image URL. So this is the function. It will first of all say current cat index plus plus. You know what I mean? The first picture, whatever is that, just add one to this one. Not only that, and I'll talk about this, just return this URL because this will be called and it needs to return something. So what you do is that you return cats of current cat index. Now, someone will ask me, what is this cats? Can I tell you what is this cats and where this cats is coming from? This cats is the array that we have defined. Yes, that we have defined in our file. So that's coming from there. Yes, exactly. So current cat index and it just keeps on changing. So it will just return the cat index like cat URL, and that cat URL will come over here and it will dynamically change that one. Let's start running that and see what if it does it that. So I have those 4 pictures, by the way, and you see that it has gone out of the picture. Now, you know that we need to handle that one, and that's very easy to handle. If current cat index equals cats dot length, cats dot length -1. If it is greater than cats dot, so current cat index equal to 0. So you're wrap that around. So now you see here, this is another cat, this is another cat, this is another cat, and cat keeps on coming. Fine. Is that understandable? It's very simple function. It just changes the current index to plus and then checks whether cats dot length is not going out of the limits. And if it goes out of the limit, it will just wrap it around with 0. Go back to the 0. And then it says that cat's current index return this one. It is returned and it comes over here and it is set up over there with that one. Got everyone? Now, not only that, I want to do one more thing. What I want to do, I want to say that whenever I do this change cats or click on this button, maybe, so this cat is changed, number 1, and the other thing that should done, or maybe we can just create another button over here. So let's create another button. So it was change cats, and I can create another button, and I will call that load cats, as I was doing before. Load cats, and of course I'll have to change its ID because ID should be always separate. So now change cat will change the cats, but load cat, what I want to say that whenever I say load cats, go and bring out all the URLs and create an unordered list over here and show all the URLs which are there in my cats file. You know what I mean? So what I want to do, I want to, first of all, I would like to catch this event and I want to run a function on btn1. So I'll come over here and I'll say, so first of all, I need to catch this button. So to catch this button, usually we can just do that anywhere, but let's catch both buttons in one point. Var my btn2. So this is my next button, or let's say my load button, right? So that I will remember. My load button is equal to document.query selector and hash btn, I think btn2 or 1, but I gave this ID. Let's check that one on the top. I've given this btn1, sorry. So btn1. So I'll just use this btn1 over here. Okay, so btn1, not btn2. Right, so I have caught this one, and now I will attach an event with this one. So my btn, my load btn dot add event listener, click, and I want to run a function. So I'll just make a function, load cats, right? I'll create a function. Oh, and remember, when you are calling this in here, you don't need those function signs. So now I'll create this load cats function. Function load cats. I just call this load cats function, right? So what I want from this load cats is, I want that whenever user clicks on this one, go to this file, script file, bring all the URLs, and just come over here and create an unordered list and load all these cats file over there and show us that one. Like again, whenever you just load that one, I want that one. So now, so load cats, whenever it will be called. So first thing that it will do, so it will create an unordered list var ul equal to document dot create element ul. I want to create an unordered list. Are you getting that? It will create an unordered list. Now, after creating unordered list, I want to give some inner HTML to this one. You remember inner HTML will do what? Will provide it some that. So right now I'm just hard coding it. Li first URL, and again I'll tell you that how I'll create that automatically. And Li second URL, and something like that. So I just created that one for myself, and I'll show you, and then I think we are running out of time. I'll do that in the next class, but of course I'll just. So I have just created this one, and now if I want to see or if I want to add this one, so you remember for the time being I'm just doing that document.body.append child and append this UL. Whenever user clicks on this button, because this is on load cats, this button. So if I click on this one, you see that my URL is like my UL is appearing. It's not URL. It's UL is appearing, and you can see that I have got something very interesting over there. So if I click on that one, I get a new cat. If I do that, you see that it right now just keeps on adding that. We can just handle that. But when I click on this one, it adds all the URLs from right now. It's a manual that I'm just creating. But in coming session, I'll just create that one. I'll go to over here and I'll bring all these things and I will just place them over there with this document. So I hope that you enjoyed today's session. I hope you understood what we have discussed, and we have been discussing these DOM events, and these are real interesting events that we have. And remember, we can have, so you can just now go to unsplash.com and you can just bring any Andy. It was really cool stuff. And as I told you that I will be just doing another session where we'll be just doing some real cool projects and things like that. So you can just take the addresses. So copy image address, and you can always add that over here. So you can just create your own database over here. So this address, and it has to go in over there. Yes, Parin. So if I add this over here, this is inverted commas. So this is one more picture has come. Let me just add few more of them. So copy image address and put a comma after that. Put inverted commas and paste that. Now this will be faster. And I'll copy some of them more. Inverted commas and copy and paste. And now you see that my document will act accordingly. Yeah, it's bringing up those cats as well. I don't know, some of them are not coming. Maybe something wrong over there, but it's just bringing up those cats over there. Just refresh that. This is the new one. This is the new one. So you can have all those cats and all this. Okay, thank you very much everyone for joining in. And next lecture, of course, that would be a recorded lecture, but of course I'll be there. Let's see you all on Thursday. Bye, everyone.